3 days ago, 16 campers started an adventure of a lifetime after surviving grueling challenges, the elements, and each other. Only 5 campers remain. Erica, Carl, Louisa, JJ, and John. Find out now who will take home the title of Sole Survivor and the $500 prize.
Fuel up a little quick then.
Yeah. Guys, final 5.
Final fucking 5.
Guys, great job. This rocks.
Whoa.
This is so fun. I'm having the best time.
The game is just so fun overall. Like, even like kind of the shady, shitty parts. I don't know. Like, maybe I'll feel differently if somebody blindsides me, but I feel like overall, like zooming out, it's just been so fun, and so I've just been trying to keep that in the back of my mind. Like, okay, I was really just like gunning to not get voted out first. So I was kind of like just trying to play it cool, make some friends, right? Because like you make friends first and then you make alliances. Making friends with people who I think will make it far. Making friends with people who are already planning to vote for somebody else, so I know that I'm not on the chopping block. But the whole time I've just been kind of like trying to play it cool, try to win challenges if I can. You know, we're here, we're playing the game, we want to win, but also like everyone's having a blast. We're just here to have fun and vote people out and, you know, play games and win them.
You guys want to do it again next weekend?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I think I need a fucking breather.
I've always told myself if I ever play Survivor, I'd go in and have a plan, but know that it has to be changed the second that you're actually there. I wanted to lay low, try and not be a target, stay in the middle of the pack, and it didn't happen. I think I got pegged as a leader pretty early on. Had to play from a different position than I wanted to coming into this, and change my whole game and control votes and make moves. I've done some subtly sneaky things. Not all of them panned out, but that's okay. I flipped a vote and put 4 on Andrew and 3 on Trey to make sure that Trey didn't go home. I tried to be as loyal as I can and honest as I can and make friends, but definitely have to make sure that you're making moves as well.
We don't get to shower in like
Yeah!
a relatively short amount of time.
I love showering.
You're only a few hours away from showering at this point.
God, that seems unreal.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm ever gonna leave this forest.
My game has been exclusively social. I tried to build sincere relationships, and so far that's worked really well. Eventually, I did find myself in a position where I've got some solid alliances that need to work together. So far, the schemes that I've initiated have panned out. I've been paranoid the whole time, but they've panned out, and I hope that it will continue to pan out.
What's been the most stressful moment for everybody so far?
Now, it's so hard to like even remember old stress.
I know.
Because I'm like, well, I just experienced that stress.
Yeah.
And that one is the most real to me right now.
I entered this game with a target on my back. I was coming in as a camp counselor, first 3 votes. The only other returning player that was in this game got the chop. My name has had a target on it since the second I got here. But the way that I've gotten around that is with my social game. You need to figure out what people are thinking and when people are lying. I came into this game on day 1 with a small list of things that I wanted to stick to, and by my estimation, I've stuck to just about everything on this list. Made the right choices when I needed to. I've whipped out the challenge beast when I needed to. I've known when to lie. I've known when to tell the truth. I've known when to shake hands and promise versus when to say vague statements. I feel as though I've played this game the best. So let's go.
It's also stressful when like you have your like real plan going on, you feel solid about it, and then like someone who's not in the loop is like, yo, can we talk? And then it's like,
And then you're
shit.
fuck, I gotta make up a story.
Yeah, and then that spreads around.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
okay.
it's like-
You know, when I came into this game, I was pretty worried about how I do. My strategy coming into here was to be social, find the people that are the gamers, the master strategists, and get really close to them. My 4 core alliance members are here right now. I was able to find an idol. I never thought I would come in, find the idol, and play it correctly in like the craziest thing I've ever experienced. I won the very first individual immunity. I'm just checking off all these boxes. I'm having a blast, and I am just so grateful that I pretty much have been able to play this game in its entirety.
Oh, what's this? Hey guys!
I found this in a tree.
Oh!
Campers! The time is almost here to crown one of you sole survivor. This will be the last time you will receive tree mail. Oh, sad. This has been fun. If you don't appreciate this time, it might run out quicker than you think. Get ready and report to your penultimate challenge. And it is a little
Hourglass.
Alright. Time.
All right, first things first, Erica, take it back. Thank you. All right, once again, immunity is back up for grabs. For today's challenge, first person to solve a puzzle wins immunity. But to get each piece of the puzzle, you can either run around the fenced-in area, take 1 lap equals 1 puzzle piece, or take the balls that are on the table and make 1 shot, and that equals 1 puzzle piece. There are 5 puzzle pieces, so you have to choose what assortment of things you want to do. Once you have all the 5 puzzle pieces, you're solving using all 5 to make a square. First person to get a square wins immunity. Chance in the final 4. Survivors ready? Go!
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Does that count?
Yep. Erica with 2. Coming back for 2. Oh.
Nice!
Go! Erica with 3. Peggy with 2. Lou with 2. John with 1.
Too much! Too much!
Lou with 3. Going straight running.
Fuck!
4. 1 left.
Fucking 4! Yes!
With 5. John with 5. Working on the puzzle now.
all 5, right?
Yep, all 5.
You're trying to make a square. Oh, good.
Once you get it, you'll get it in 2 seconds. But it might take a while. Is that all 5? All 5 pieces.
That one sticks out.
Are you sure?
She used this exact puzzle last season.
3 long days, mental fatigue. Coming in 5 simple pieces, 1 simple sheet.
Done. Oh, just like that. Carl, win community.
Damn. What was the answer?
Congratulations, Carl. Third time.
Nice.
Good job, Carl. You're the only one today to get the spot in the final 4. For the rest of you, the journey's going to come up short. So, grab your stuff. Back to camp.
Third immunity win. I feel like I might have needed it. Tonight should be pretty straightforward. It should be Koha strong and send Erica to the jury.
Down for Erica.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a threat, but I don't want to sit next to Erica with all this old Sun Cooks. Like,
Yeah, I don't either.
yeah. Sam is a guaranteed vote.
Yep.
If Andrew has a choice, not voting for us.
If it's me and Erica, he's voting for her.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
If everything goes as planned, the last remaining Sun Cook tribe member will hit the exit. 4 Koha strong, go to the end, and we'll battle it out.
You, Coach, and JJ, like, we've been in this together since day one. And, for sure, number 1, JJ's a big threat, and number 2, the 3 of us, like, started an alliance early on. We got here together on that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't want our identities name.
It makes a lot of sense to get either one of them out.
Yeah.
But I just think her having those relationships from Jerry is scary. And
It is
being
scary.
like
It
I'm
is
the only Sun Cook left narrative. I don't even want Survivor.
Yeah.
This and
I
that.
think I'm safe in the next tribal. I hope I'm safe in the one after that. That being said, at this point of the game, it could be every man for himself.
My head's at Eric.
Yeah.
That's where we've been talking this whole time, and we have all been true to our word up to this point.
Yeah.
And I'll go to the grave true to
Yeah.
my word if that's what that means.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk about voting for JJ.
I do feel bad.
I know.
I do feel bad.
Well, because he's like you had like your original co-host thing, whatever.
Exactly.
But if you're down to do that, then I'm down to do that too.
Okay.
I don't know if they're actually gonna do that, so that's where I'm kind of like, ooh. I might be like next is kind of my feeling, but we'll see about that.
So what are you gonna vote for me? That's okay if you are.
What?
If that's what
If
that's
I'm
what
gonna vote
everybody's
with,
doing.
Coach and John, but at this point, JJ has been a strong ally to me.
Right.
But it's kind of, there was you, me, Sam, and JJ.
Right.
And then there was me, John, and Coach.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
2 people versus 1 person, and yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they're leaning towards JJ.
Yeah.
And I think on this room, that's where I'm gonna go.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. That makes sense.
What if she has an idol? If she has an idol, then I am fucked.
I just don't see John and Carl wasting another opportunity to get rid of someone that they perceive to be a big threat. And regardless of how much I like them and how much they like me, I think we do, all the 3 of us, consider each other big threats. And I think we recognize at this point that, one of us has to go. I think.
You're good. 100%. Okay. Erica's gonna think it's you, so we're telling Erica that it's you.
100%. Koha strong.
Yes, Koha.
Original Koha strong.
Yes.
A foursome that has never been reckoned with.
Oh, dude, for sure. So I'm not worried about this. Like, okay, we're good.
Obviously, I would be lying to you right now if I said I'm not worried about this, but I am. If they are holding their word true, then that's the final 4, and we're sending Erica home. But if that's not the case, and I have plenty of reason to believe why that would not be the case, then my head is on the chopping block.
Welcome to Final Five Tribal Council. This is the first time any of you will have to vote someone out with only 5 people in the game or in your tribe. So are there new dynamics that come with this new number set, JJ?
Well, obviously, similar to 7, there is it being an odd number, you run into that well, these 2 people might be doing this 2 things, and then you're worrying about somebody in the middle. It becomes less clear-cut, though, when you get down to a number like 5. When we're working with a number like 7, there is a little bit more well, these 3 people would probably be on this side, and these 3 on this side. So it's harder to tell. The closer you get to the end, the more tight-knit everybody is, the more friendly we all are, and work together and have trusted each other for a little bit longer. So in a weird way, it becomes blurrier the smaller the numbers get, actually.
Erica, that must be good for you as the last remaining Sun Cook if numbers are getting blurrier, or for you, did it feel that it was pretty clear?
It felt pretty clear. Original tribes, teams. But I think JJ's right. There are some blurred lines now. But I still feel I can't help but think that there's still that underlying original Cohos organization.
What did you do to try to crack that?
I tried to utilize my connections with these 2 from the tribe swap. I don't know if it worked, but I thought that maybe that would give me an in from the tribe swap, having worked together then, to get through it now, but who knows?
John, you and Carl really have been together this whole game on the same tribe, and you came in from outside the initial casting pool, if you will. So does that give you pause that these 3 did spend time together on that new tribe, and then you and Carl are the 2 that weren't there and have no idea exactly what happened?
Yeah, I mean, from the very beginning, I think we both kind of knew that that was going to stand out, and that's not something you want to do in this game, stand out. So it makes it compelling right off the bat there. So yeah, we're worried about it.
Sun's starting to beat down, pressure's on, the bright lights are on, so we're almost near the end. Let's get one step closer. You're up first.
Erica, I'm sorry, but Cohos strong, and I do think that this is really best for my game.
I'll go tally the votes. Alright, if anyone has a hidden immunity idol, this is the last time you can play it. So if you want to do it, you can. If not, once the votes are read, the decision is final. That person will be asked to leave the tribal council area immediately. I'll read the vote. First vote, Erica. John. 1 John, 1 Erica. Erica. 2 Erica, 1 John. 6th member of the jury, Erica.
No! I knew it! It's okay. Great job, guys. Fucking crushed it. It's been fun. Crushed it, guys.
Go, Erica.
I knew it. You liar!
Erica, trust.
So long, guys. Good luck.
Thank you. Congratulations, Final Four. We only have one more challenge left. We're about to take part in it. It's right down the hill, so grab your torches, get ready. Hey, Cohos 4.
I had a feeling because right before we came up, JJ, Louisa, and John all had like a little group thing, and I was like, I think that that's what's happening next. I knew it, but I thought that I could trust JJ, but apparently that was not true. But I made it this far. It was so fucking fun. So I'm excited to be on the jury now, though, so I can like talk about people.
First things first, Carl, take it back. For the final time, community is back up for grabs. For your final challenge, you'll be standing on the wooden disc, holding the wooden disc, balancing a ball. If you drop the ball, you're out. Last one holding the ball wins. Every 3 minutes, you'll add a new section to it until you have 4 sections. Right. Last one standing wins immunity, has a guaranteed spot in the final 3. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And we're live. We're going to add the next section.
Out.
Moving on to 3 sections. Time for the 4th section.
1. We're gonna go 4 minutes. If you guys reach it at that point, we'll add 1 more stack.
We're going to add 1 final section.
1. Carl moving right off the bat. Up and Carl drop. We are down 2-2. Had it. Nice and heavy. Guaranteed spot. 3. Just like that.
Try
Yes! Let's go!
Good vote. Yep. Congratulations, JJ. Final immunity. Guaranteed a spot in front of the jury. The other 3 did all this, come up this short. Grab your stuff, head back to camp. See you guys very, very soon.
This was, I guess, the inevitable.
Yeah. One last, 1, 2, 3, go.
Yes.
Okay, ready?
1, 2, 3.
Come on! We have talked since day one to make Koha Strong the Final Four. And it is the alliance that I picked right at the beginning. And it's the alliance that has taken me this far.
We get a Final Four swig in, too, of the rum.
Yeah.
Yummy.
We fucking did it.
We did.
You fucking did it.
I think the plan for tonight is to force the game to decide what the final 3 is.
No one wants to write down any.
Nope, I don't.
Sorry. I really don't. I just want to do this no bullshit whatsoever.
I would rather it be unified than like some,
Yeah, seriously.
weird 2-2s. I mean, I don't know.
Well, do you
that's
guys
been a
want to tie it and see what happens?
That's what I was thinking.
I hope that's what's happening because I think that's best for me. I think if scheming starts happening, I'm the one that's gonna be targeted.
Scenario that it's a challenge. You guys can throw me in. Put a couple votes on me.
I'd be okay taking the other 2.
We decided no more bullshit. It's been a long 3 days of bullshit, and we decided to tie the vote and see where it goes. I volunteered to have votes on me because I would like to go to that challenge and maybe add another thing on my resume there.
So we want to just do Lou and I vote John, and you 2 vote me.
Yep. And then we'll
leave it up to fate.
Yeah, it comes down to me and you, man.
I should be bouncing with excitement, but the reality is, you know, I haven't won anything yet. It's gonna be up in the air.
Whose name am I writing down again?
We all fuck it up.
you and me or John.
I am proud of the game that I played here. My case is as strong as anyone's.
Like, if I do wind up in Seattle, I will for sure be hitting a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody should
Yeah.
come out, visit.
Final Four, welcome to your last loadout travel process. See that you all are rocking your original Koha buffs, the sign of unity, but JJ, this is the last vote, you're wearing immunity. One of you isn't going to make it to the final round, so this is all a nice show of unity, but how do you go about determining which one isn't going to make it?
At this point, we are sticking with the unity route. We have, I don't know if I'm not allowed to say this, everybody knows yours.
Yeah.
We're planning on doing this a split vote because we, you know, would rather there not be any too hard feelings at this point.
So you're all willing to take that risk, even, but is that risk that you're just going to lose to someone in the final vote?
Our unity is trumping any other conversations. That's basically the decision that we came to. It got us all to this point from the very beginning.
How did you decide who will be getting the votes and who will not be getting the votes?
John and I volunteered for it.
I volunteered in case I went to a challenge. I wanted to participate, so.
Louisa, that's either good or these two are seeing it as that's their way to beat you two.
I think all 4 of us have played our best games, and each of our games was different. So these 2 do much better in challenges than I do. So yeah, if they want to show up and show the jury what they can do out there, then that's part of the game that they've been playing.
Let's do it. JJ, you're up.
That is probably one of the most stupid things I've ever seen in my life.
So sneaky.
About your questions accordingly.
Everybody's played a great game, and I seem to be fine with this plan because I am confident that I can beat all 3 of them.
I know that I could vote coach right now, and I know that would mean that I make it to the final 3. But I'm in this.
There were many times I wanted to write your name down. There it is. It's gonna come down to rocks.
Well, they also said they're doing a split vote. That doesn't mean that's what they're actually doing.
No, it's true. But if they split the vote and it comes down to rocks, like, congrats.
I'll go tally the votes. Alright, once the votes are read, the decision is final, and that person will be asked to leave the tribal council area. I'll read the votes. First vote. John. John. There's 2 John. Coach K. There's 2 John, 1 Carl. Coach K. That's 2 Carl, 2 John. So we have a tie. Alright. The way this is going to work is there will be a small little challenge between Carl and John. Unless someone wants to change their mind right now. But it seems like you guys are pretty set.
Yep.
You too? Alright. I'll go get that challenge and I'll be right back. Stay tight. The game of Survivor, fire represents your life. Here, you'll be making a little torch puzzle. I have the answer keys right here. If you 2 want to step up and get ready. First one to complete the puzzle stays. The other one, you'll be the last person voted out of Survivor Merrimack Madness. Good luck.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Survivor's ready?
Yeah.
Go. Carl, wins the final challenge. John, give me a minute. John, second on the pentagram, I'm like, nope, I'm playing this game with you guys. John, try this one. One time. Congratulations, you 3. You have come as far as you can in this game. But now, it's up to the jury to decide who will be the winner of Soul Survivor and win the $500 prize. Give you a second to think about what you're about to go through and go get John.
I wasn't confident enough in my resume in this game to beat JJ or even Louisa. I didn't, I thought it'd be a pretty even match there, and I just I talked about getting Coach out a lot because of the threat that he is, and I was hoping that there would be a challenge. I was hoping it would be some type of puzzle, specifically a slider puzzle, because I'd be good at those, but he brought out another tanagram and I knew I was screwed. So you know what, I had a great time playing this game, and to come in 4th is a lot further than I thought I'd ever make it. So I'm pretty happy, and I'm excited to see who wins the game.
Welcome to Final Tribal Council. So now all the power goes over to the jury. The way we're going to do this is someone's going to ask a question, and it's going to be more of an open conversation back and forth. If someone asks a question, you respond, and then it triggers someone else to ask something, or they have a rebuttal for what you're saying. I'm here to be the judge of shutting down conversations when it feels too tedious. Based off that, the jury will determine who they want to award the title of Soul Survivor to. So, does anyone on the jury want to get it started? All right. First one.
So, what do you guys think your biggest move throughout the entire game was? You just go down the line.
I'm actually really happy that you asked that question because I feel like your vote out was my most crucial move to get to where I am right now. And it took a lot of steps to get there too, because when we showed up post-merge and there was 5 original Cohas and 5 original Suncook, it was a mad scramble for power and for who was going to be able to take the lead moving post-merge. And right off the bat, within like minutes after being back from the challenge, there was this talk that it was between my name and Trey's. And obviously that freaked me out to a certain extent. So I worked with the allies that I had been working with since the beginning of the game, my original Cohas. But then I was also able to work with my 2 new alliance members that I had picked up when I was over at Suncook in Sam and in Erica.
So early on in one of my confessionals, I said that my ideal position wouldn't be a leader because that would make me a target, but would be being tight with a leader because I always know what's going on. After the Kate vote, I recognized that I had 2 of the strongest alliances in the tribe at that point. I got JJ, Coach, and John on board with cutting out Trey.
Keeping Trey for an extra 2 votes was, I think, the biggest thing for me, because as long as he was in the game, it was a shield for me. So I pushed for the Kate vote under the guise of, well, if they have an immunity, they'll use it on Trey. When we went to vote Trey to Andrew, it was supposed to be 4-3, 4 on Trey, 3 on Andrew. I flipped my vote for Trey. I voted Andrew to make sure that Trey stayed in the game because I needed that shield at least another round.
More questions?
Between the 3 of you, if this came down to a final 2, who would you want to sit next to between the 3 of you, and why?
Coach, I loved playing with you, man. I respect Coach and his game so much, but Roysan and I made a 1-2 combination right off the bat that I just fell in love with immediately. Like, I was like, we work well together, and we had this really good like chemistry of, I kind of described it today to her as like, it almost feels like a good cop, bad cop situation where I feel like I can have these really long conversations with people, really drawn out, just to get little small pieces of information, and then I feel like she'd sit by and then swoop in with a big question to take the day, and to get the information out that we're looking for. So I've always enjoyed working with Lou, and I've made more promises to her, so if I could, I'd sit here with you. But again, Coach, no respect, disrespect. No respect. No respect for Coach.
I think my answer is basically really similar to JJ's, which I think speaks to the position that Lou put herself in as like a compliment to her, because if both of us would have been willing to take her to the final 2, then that means that she was in the best space with both of us. It's interesting because Lou is not someone that I trusted initially. It did take a little while for that, but after I got to know her and like, I guess understand her and whatnot, I became a lot closer with her and with John than, I think it's the same thing, than we ever were never really tight too. So.
I agree. Yep.
If you had asked me Saturday morning, I would have had the same answer as JJ. Like I said, the trust between me, John, and Coach took a while to build. I didn't know who they were, how they were playing, what that was about. Once that trust was built and that relationship was there, I recognized that at some point that alliance might have to break, and I did everything that I could to take all 3 of you guys
as far we all took each other, but I tried to merge my alliances and not turn them against each other.
Can you give an answer?
Can I give an answer? Who would play best at Final Tribal? I mean, I don't want to give you guys any ideas and make a pitch for someone else, but
I would love for you to answer the question then.
all right, let me think.
Which one would you rather sit next to?
Who would you rather
sit next to? Yeah, who would you rather sit next to between Carl and JJ?
Probably JJ and I were both playing a social game, and Coach was much stronger on challenges. So I think Coach and I would have different stories, and that would feel safer to me going in front of the final jury and figuring out maybe they'll be more swayed by the challenges, maybe they'll be swayed by the social game versus trying to compete with Jay on my social game.
Alright, I have a question. Sorry. This question specifically for Carl though. So when we get to the merge and it's a 5-5 power struggle, right? The vote ended up being 7-3 for Kate. JJ and Lou brought in Erica and Sam. What did you really bring to the co-house tribe at that point besides just being a number? Because they made the relationships with Suncook, and you kind of rode those coattails in those relationships, and that's kind of...
Did I actually get accused of riding coattails here?
No, I'm not trying to accuse you of riding coattails.
Like, I'll fire back.
You just didn't bring anything to that power struggle.
I understand the question. I don't understand the coattails part of it, but I understand the question.
I don't know if that was the right word.
So to the question, I agree with that, but I didn't have to bring anything to it because my tribe had done that. I tried really, really hard to, and the 6-person tribal council that we went to showed me that that trust wasn't there and wasn't built, and that was the opportunity for that to happen. We really only had the one chance for it to happen, and it didn't. And I did try to. What I did was read the situation and understand that myself and John were tight, and I felt really good with Lou. And so with that, like, that nebulous then spreads out. So I was able to read that situation and say, okay, if I go with that majority, that gets me into a position where then I can take out the people that they brought in and work my way back to the top.
Thank you.
Coach, how much did you bet for the additional advantage?
$500.
Knew it.
I can go next. I come up. First of all, I want to say, very impressed by all of you. I was minorly bitter when I got voted up, and I went on a run, cleared my head. I'm all good. But I think, something, I watch Survivor a lot, and something that I really, one of the phenomenons that happen that I really like is like when a player, especially if it's like a coy player that plays kind of silently throughout the season, takes like that last moment to take down that person that's next to them, and to really show that they are still invested in the game. And that happens a ton. And something else that happens is kind of the flip side of that, is that the coy player kind of gets misaligned by this idea of like unity and stuff, and ends up bringing the biggest player to the end. Reminiscent of like Wu and Tony, reminiscent of like Dan and Cody. And I'm really impressed by, the Tony in that situation that's able to like run circles around Wu. And I, especially considering like, Survivor, everyone knows is a game about blah, 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 blah. And even after 40 days, people are like, how can you make that decision? And after 4 days, I'm even more incredulous in how you can make that decision. And so I, especially considering that you both said that you would probably, make a more rash, a more, harsh decision if it went down to a final 2, I'm really befuddled how that tangram ended up happening.
Because is that there's not a whole lot of question marks there, but for me, if JJ hadn't have won immunity, I don't think he's sitting here. I really don't think he is. I don't know that for sure, and it's not a conversation that we had, but that was always in my mind. So it's not a conversation that we even had at 4. It's something that we had talked about before, but it doesn't really matter what you talked about 2-3 tribals ago, right? So Yeah.
To interject on that, it wasn't a conversation on our end. I didn't eavesdrop or hear any conversation. Like it wasn't a conversation. I felt that though. Like I felt like John and Coach are tight. They're not going to vote separately from each other, and I thought, well, Lou and I are tight. We're not going to vote separately from each other. But if neither of us have the, and I also figured they're probably not going to vote for Lou. Like they've worked with her more than they have individually me. So I'm expecting, okay, well, if I don't have the necklace on, they're going to try to make that the 3. And I knew in my heart that I was like, if I want to actually have a chance at winning this, that now's the time to do it. And so I zoned in, I locked down.
But at the end of the day, you did have that chance because John and I wrote each other's names down.
It's true.
So
That's
there's...
true. I had a chance. Again, I'm just saying that was floating in my head that was a possibility at the very least. And I wanted to squash that possibility and leave no question of a doubt. And I did that.
Right. Final 3, would you like to make one final pitch for why you should be awarded Sole Survivor?
I think I made my main pitch when I was answering the first question, but I knew the game that I was playing. I knew who I was up against. I knew that I was middle of the pack in challenges with my tribe, and I gave it my all then because your social game is damaged if you're alone in the challenges. But I recognized I need to play the social game, and if that's not the game that you're voting for, then you aren't going to vote for me, and I understand that. But I played the social game well enough that in the last challenge, I had terrible balance. I knew I was going to be out. But I also knew going in that I was the only person who didn't beat that immunity idol. And I think that speaks to the game that I played.
The biggest thing for me is how I had to adjust how I wanted to play, and I guess almost like a little bit of self-reflection and self-awareness to the fact that I was a target. I was someone that people wanted to get out, and my game had to change from like trying to float in the middle of things to being a leader and creating solid loyalty. So one of the biggest ways I did that is Lou and John both knew that I had the secret advantage. They knew that I had won it. I shared that with them because I viewed it as more as a tool to earn their trust than anything else really. So just to like what you were speaking to, T, is like I knew that I had to put myself in that position where the only way I'm getting to the end is if I absolutely 100% can get that loyalty above anything else, and that's what we did. And I'm very happy with how all of this game has gone.
I guess I would just say, so this game is a game that you have to be willing to be on your toes, and when things come at you that you're not expecting, you have to be able to roll with the punches and change, and that's an immensely important part of this game. I think another equally important part of this game, though, is approaching it just like you would any other game. You have to have a strategy, and you have to have a plan. This is something that none of you have seen, or even you two, but I've shown the cameras a few times. I wrote this the afternoon that I was leaving. It's called JJ's Survivor Survival Guide. And I just wrote some things on it that I wanted to keep remembering while I played this game. I wrote, early on, find a 1 or 2, I guess 3 people that you trust and you can lock down and work with throughout the game. At the swap, find another 1 or 2 people that you can work with to move forward in the game. I wrote, post-merge, join your 2 tight alliances together. That's literally exactly what happened. I wrote, never be complacent. You are not safe. I never was safe. I never felt safe. And up until this moment, I still haven't really ever felt safe. And I won't go on the entire list. I wrote, activate challenge beast when needed. And I think today I did that. You can all take a look at that list if you want. I did everything on it.
All right. Well, with that being said, the power now moves over to the jury. So you will be voting for who you want to win. Big decision, so Pete, you're up first.
Begrudgingly, I can definitely say I was outwit, outplay, and outlast by this man.
I underestimated the fuck out of her. That was my bad. And she did more than I realized, and she made that apparent with what she said, I think. Voting for JJ, even though you betrayed me, I think you won me over with your last little speech. You played the game, you played really well, and I think you deserve to win.
This decision would be a lot easier if a Suncook member is on any of these winners episodes.
All right, for the final time, I will go tally the votes. Alrighty. Before I read these votes, I would like to say thank you for everyone here. Thank you, Final Three. Thank you, jury. Thank you, pre-jury. Thank you, production. Thank you, Mike and Nancy, for letting us do this on the land. Round of applause. This was a really great season. I thought it was a really fun theme, and I think the guys lived up to it. A lot of crazy stuff happened. Without further ado, let's find out how it'll end. If you want to see your name on this parchment, remember that. Alrighty. First vote. JJ. Coach K. Carl. It's one JJ, one Carl. Lou. It's one JJ, one Lou, one Carl. JJ. It's two JJ, one Carl, one Lou. Carl. It's two Carl, two JJ, one Lou. JJ. That's three JJ, one Lou, two Carl, one vote left. Here's the deal. Lou, you're out of it. Sorry. Carl, your name's on this. It's a tie. We go to a tiebreaker. JJ, if your name's on this, you're the winner of Survivor Merrimack Madness. Ready to figure out what we're doing? The winner of Survivor Merrimack Madness.
Thank you, Liam.
I came here 5 years ago, and with a very blasé attitude about everything, I was booted 4th. This year, I'm wearing this around my neck, and I've got this cash in my pocket because I thought things out, I planned things out, and you know what? I feel pretty good about this, but without just talking about all of me, every single one of those cast members and tribe people who, words aren't really coming to me well right now. Every person who played this weekend is amazing, and finding people who find this activity to be like a fun thing to do and not weird, but like recognize the awesome thing that it is, are all very special people, and the most special is Liam Houghton, the guy who puts all this on. So I thank to him, I thank to all of the production and everyone who played this weekend. And thank you.
We're done. Wrapped.
Hallelujah.